Well, I think, again, when you've got to put it in perspective based on where we had played the last game, to come out and respond after being down, I think as many as 17, to come back, there's a lot of teams that would have quit, especially with Mal's injury. That's not what this team has ever been about. We didn't quit down at LSU the other night. We just didn't play good. We just didn't play good. And I said it out there, and I'll say it to you guys. It's going to sound crazy, but that loss is easier to take than this one, because this is that one where you go back and you dissect every possession from possession 1 to possession 85. But it's good lessons for us. But certainly a proud coach, bounce back like we did, have an opportunity to win it against a really, really good team that's starting to play good basketball. Even though we'll probably beat ourselves up for a day or two, there's a lot of positives to draw from and head into our bye week.
Coach, number one, what happened to Malika at the end of the half there? I couldn't see on the opposite end.
She rolled an ankle. She went to make a move, and I think she stepped on a kid's foot. And, there's very few kids as tough as that one. So when she goes down, it's hurting. But we've got the best athletic training staff in the world. They got her ready to go, and I was surprised when she said she could go. And she went in, and then she hurt her hand. It wasn't the ankle again. Her hand went numb on her. So I thought her presence, the coming back in, was big. It lifted everybody up. I think it gave us a spark, and she was really, really good defensively down the stretch.
Just talk about Dungee's performance, especially in the second half.
As good as I've ever seen a kid have, just in the circumstances, needing it, knowing we needed it, not being reluctant when her number got called. It doesn't surprise me one bit. She works at it. She's gotten herself in pro shape to play 40 minutes against that defense and do what she did. I wasn't here for the other performances that people are talking about out there, but we had a lot of alumni here telling me that's as good as they've ever seen, especially in this building. And, man, I'm not going to tell you it's not one of the top performances I've ever seen, period.
Chelsea, just talk about, what it feels like to know that your team needs a big effort and to come through with that.
It feels good because I know that they have my back and that they trust the fact that when I put up a shot, it's going to be a good shot. It's either going to be a drive and an and one, a drive and a kick to shooters that we have, Tolfrey, Jay. They have confidence, and I have confidence in them too. So
there was a lot of steps on the floor tonight seeing that. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you we've had it since the beginning. We don't have it. We didn't initially. They were still filling each other out. But game respects game, and our kids respected what was happening out there, and I think they were looking for her a little too much sometimes, to be honest. I wish that we're maybe a shot or two we would have taken in an effort to get it to her. But, that's a thing, again, in year 2 we'll take. If we're in year 5 of this and she's a senior and we're sitting up here still having this conversation, then we got a problem. But we don't have a problem right now. The problem is there's a bunch of teams in this league that have been ahead of us, and we're closing the gap. I don't think there's any question about that. And I love that we're starting to think about results. I love that it's starting to hurt when you see a tear in her eyes and the competitor's eyes. And, a kid like Ramirez and IT who aren't even playing, you see how competitive they are. That makes you as a coach and as a staff know that you're doing the right things every day in practice, and you're doing the right things on and off the court.
You talk about dissecting things and going back through film. I got to ask about calling the timeout with 7 seconds left on the shot clock, if you had that one to do again.
Sure. Yeah, it's a play that's worked. And the other thing I do, Coach Schaefer does all our inbounds plays. He has been. He's doing a great job. But that was a play that we've ran in the past, different places, and I drew it up. I didn't think they would trap Taylor. They did. And, she didn't have much recourse other than maybe that. I hate that we fouled right there. That's and that's on me. And that's the one thing I'll kick myself about the rest of the week.
The technical foul, kind of what happened on that.
I can talk about what happened, but not we were told that it was issued because one of my assistant coaches left the bench, and the assistant coach was trying to get me to not go on the floor. That is exactly what we are taught to do as assistant coaches our entire life. We are taught to protect the head coach and go get the head coach, and that's exactly what happened. That's what they told us, so I'm not telling you anything, my opinion on it. I'm telling you, reporting a fact on what they told us happened. And I'm not sure that I can comment further without talking to Commissioner Sankey tomorrow, so I'm not going to. But I want my assistant coaches to do that. That's exactly who we are, and that's the program we're going to always be. And if that's the rule, then I need to understand it better, and I need to teach it better, because I speak at clinics all over the country, and I tell assistant coaches that's part of their job.
I guess also how you feel Raven responded, just as far as having somebody besides Chelsea step up.
Good. She's been playing good in practice. She really has. The last 3 weeks, as a senior, it's hard. And I think once she accepted and surrendered to the role that was available for her to surrender to, she's played well. And, obviously her offense carried to some defense, but she played well against these guys last year. I had a gut feeling. That's why I put her in as early as I did, and she hit one, then she kept playing. Part of that was because of Mal being out, but then also a lot of it was because how well she played. And we had a conversation the other day about we needed, I brought Mal and Jalen and Chelsea in that we needed, and I think they've done a great job with those guys in practice, coaching them up. I thought, Taylor was really, really effective. Even though you look at her stat line, and it doesn't look like that, you would say that, but I thought she was as well. So we're starting to get some help in some other areas, and I think that'll continue to show.
Half, you guys started to really drive the lane more and try to get to the free throw line. Can you just speak to your decision to do that and how it impacted the game?
We were in the bonus and quite early. So at that point, that's what we decided to do, is attack the basket and draw the foul. They're real jumpy. You can give them a head fake, a pass fake, and just attack. Yeah, I just think that we should attack when they're in the bonus.
We talked about doing it in pregame too.
Yeah.
We just didn't do it as much in the first half.
No.
We had a little talk at halftime. Little talk that had to be, we had to become the aggressor. And I thought the third quarter we did, and it carried over to the fourth.
Yeah.
But it was part of the game plan ahead of time. We just didn't necessarily do it to start.
Toll-free just kind of hasn't been as effective in recent games. What's going on with her right now?
I think it's the season. This is a long season, and you can play at the high school level, you can play at the junior college level. It's just different, and it's different in this league. I can say this because I have been in other leagues. This league it tries to tear you down, because everywhere you go, you're facing somebody that's got history. Every team in this league's been to the NCAA tournament. That's not the case in every Power 5 league. Every team's got stuff hanging in the banners. It seems like everywhere we go, we're seeing national championships and Final Fours. And so I think part of it is that. And then obviously we all know it's a confidence thing, and we're going to keep trying to give it to her. She's working through it in practice. We haven't given up. But when you have other kids that are playing good, you got to reward those kids. And that's kind of what's happened the last few games. So we'll see. I hope she comes out of it. We certainly need her to.
Hmm.
Last thing, first half, did you feel like your team was just tentative?
Yes, that was the exact word I used. I used tentative, and again, I always implore them. I don't know why. It just baffles me on why we do it. Because I'm telling you right now, if I had a coach that said, "I want you to make a mistake running through a wall or going full speed or whatever," that would be where I'd err. I wouldn't err on passiveness or throwing it from my hip or not attacking. I would see if that coach really meant what they say, and I think they know I do, and we do. So tentative was the word, and I think after we talked about it, we got better at it. So, I think if we saw these guys in a tournament in the end of the year, we would be more aggressive. I'm not telling you we'd play better. They're good. They got a really good team, but I do think we would be more aggressive early.